You should know just how easy it is to no-line colour. Hi there, it's Therese from Lostinpaper and welcome back. It's another Summer of Stamping video to share with you today for Ellen Hutson, and I'm going to be doing some no-line colouring with some Copic markers. Really simple today. And I've started by cutting a piece of cardstock. It's some Nina 110-pound cardstock, and I've stamped my image, which is a stamp called You Should Know from Brandy, and I have used the fade out ink on 3 ink. Now this is a really unique ink, and I thought it'd be a really good idea just to share some tips and tricks along the way. So this is an ink that kind of absorbs the colour, so that after you colour your image, you're not going to see the lines that were stamped. So in fact, even though we call it no line colour, there are lines, but by the time you finish colouring, you're not going to see them. So you get that more realistic kind of image. And this is a nice, what would you say? It's a nice bold outlined image. So the unique thing about this ink is that it does absorb the colour that you're colouring with, and you can use it for so many different mediums. Works well with Copics like I'm showing you here today, and also with watercolours and pencils. So it covers so many different sort of mediums that you might want to use with it. So I've only got 2 colours that I'm using here for my flower petals today, and what I like to do is, I do change it up a bit, but what I like to usually do is add my shadow first. So I'm using my darkest colour first, and with this ink I actually colour over the ink itself because it absorbs the colour, and that's why you don't see the line. I'm doing some simple shading here. Once I do my colouring, I kind of add the darker colour, come back in with the lighter colour here. There's quite a big difference between these two. So I come back over with the lighter colour, and that kind of absorbs the two and helps them to blend. But I also do the tip to tip technique. So that just means I use my lighter colour to pick up some of the darker colour on the tip of my marker, and that just gives me kind of an in-between colour where I need it. I didn't do that a lot on this image. I kept it fairly simple. I love this colour on cards. It's one of my favourite go-to colours for cards, and I think it looks fantastic on Christmas cards, this blue-green with a pop of red, and I do that probably every Christmas. If you've been following me, you would already know that this is a colour that you see often around here. I do like to wait for the Copic ink to dry. It doesn't take long, it's an alcohol ink, but once it dries on the paper, it's easy to add a little bit of extra shadowing and shading. So I will come back in with my darker colour. So you don't need a lot of different coloured pens to get a variation on your colouring. Now I have slowed it down so you can watch me colour in some of the leaves, and I've got the lids off. Oh. And the lids off to the side. No, there they are again. So you can see which colours I have used. Everything I've used today will be listed below, and also the link will be there to my blog, which I'll have every single product that I've used. So if you're not sure what colours I did use or what products I've used, everything will be linked through the description below. The good news is that the refills are back in stock. I don't think all of the colours are there, but finally the refills for the Copic markers are back in stock. So good news in the US in particular. I have heard that things have been really difficult over there to get the refill colours for the markers. Just, I suppose, with deliveries and things, international deliveries, it's been a little bit difficult, but yay, they are there. I know that there's a few colours that I've been waiting to come back into stock, so I tend not to buy a lot of new colours in my Copic collection. I tend to really think about what colours I need. I can usually make the ones that I have work. I do have a lot of colours, And what I tend to do instead is buy the refills, and I've got some, because you can actually get extra nibs as well. So I have had my markers for over 10 years now, and they are one of my go-to colouring mediums, and I love them. And I have been doing a lot of watercolouring lately, and I thought it'd be good to bring back some alcohol marker colouring, and I've really enjoyed it. Just switching it up, keeping it real. Okay, so now I want to create my own coloured cardstock to go behind my image. So what I did was actually look at my ink swatches, and I decided that the Dewdrop colour from Altenew was a very close match. So I've got the blending tool, and I'm working on my craft sheet here, and I'm just adding this colour directly to, I think it's just the 80-pound Nina cardstock. I'm adding a sentiment in the same Dewdrop colour, and this is from the You Should Know stamp set as well. And I'm cutting up my image because I want my sentiment to sort of sit in the middle. So I did have to sneak an extra piece off the panels here because I didn't want it to look like I'd stretched the flowers out too much, but I didn't want to cut away too much of the flowers either. So next I stamped out the thank you from That Thing You Did with some obsidian black ink, and I want to try and line this up perfectly on the front of my card. So I've added some tape, and I'm just kind of holding the front portion in place while I line up where the image is going to sit behind, and just cut away those extra portions at the side with some scissors. There's probably an easier way to do this. I could have actually adhered these portions of the flowers that I cut away with the foam and added the adhesive onto that section, and then just adhered the whole section down. That probably would have been easier to center it, but I did it the hard way. I did think it needed something a little bit more, so I did add some Calming Aqua Nouveau enamel dots. So if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button. That lets me know that you did enjoy it, and if you haven't already, it'd be great if you could subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be back here real soon with some more paper crafting tutorials. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.